the final video of the season. It is the big main event. It is the Champions League final. We've got two English clubs in the final here. Chelsea looking to win it for a second time. Manchester City looking to be the first club from Manchester to ever win it. And I just wanted to rile Tom up a little bit there, as we have Manchester City versus Chelsea. I thought that it would be a really good idea if you run through what you think both starting lineups will be.
Cool.
And, I don't know who you want to start with, so take your pick. And I'm just going to sit here and let you go for it.
Cool. So I think we will start with Manchester City. I expect them to line up in some sort of 4-3-3, and I strongly suspect there to be a false nine and there to be no striker in this side. I've done this before, so prepare yourselves. Ederson's in goal, Kyle Walker out on the right, probably João Cancelo out on the left, Ruben Diaz and John Stones through the middle. Definitely Rodri.
Premier League Player of the Season, Ruben Diaz.
Premier League winner and Player of the Season, Ruben Diaz.
Well, if you're going to say Rodri, Premier League winner, you have to say it for every one of their players. Start again.
And in the midfield, for the third time, Rodri will be the linchpin that everything's played around. I'd expect Bernardo Silva and Gündoğan to flow around him. Generally, they get to fly forward. Rodri gets to kind of hold the game and play. And then up front, expect Kevin De Bruyne playing as striker, with Phil Foden off on the left and Riyad Mahrez on the right. Mahrez has been picked in quite a few European fixtures. I think it's his trickery, his ability to kind of win a game by himself when he wants to, and Sterling has been so badly out of form. This is the starting 11 I'd expect for City.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Mahrez has been far better than Sterling, and I think he's probably even the back end of the season he's been a bit better than Gündoğan. Gündoğan's kind of form in terms of goal. He had that little purple period where you thought that he was going to be like the new striker. But not that his form's tailed off, but his goals have tailed off, and I think Mahrez is definitely worthy of being in that starting lineup. But this game gets billed a bit as attack versus defence, which I don't think quite does it justice. And there's going to be, I mean, we'll get onto it, but there'll be a lot of tactical play between the two managers, between Guardiola and Tuchel, I'm sure. But before we get into all of that, why don't you just quickly run through this Chelsea lineup, which I assume you're going to start with as with Kepa in goal.
If for some reason Mendy is even like only 20% fit, I would probably play him over Kepa, because Kepa is the biggest liability goalkeeper in the Premier League.
What if Kepa had one arm? What if Mendy had one arm?
No, still Mendy.
What if Mendy was blinded and had one arm and wasn't wearing a cup?
Very close. I might have Thiago Silva playing goal instead, though. Right. Yeah, again, getting nowhere with teammates. Right. Mendy in goal. It's going to be a back three. It's going to be Thiago Silva, Rudiger, and I would expect Christensen. Christensen's played in the biggest games. I don't think he's going to go with the Zuma. There's too many just random mistakes in a Kurt Zuma. Rudiger, though, has definitely proved himself next to Thiago Silva, and Thiago Silva is a world-class player. I would not be surprised if Jorginho played in the hole, and in front of Jorginho we saw Kante and Mount. I don't think he's going to go with this odd Chilwell in the centre of midfield. I just don't think that's what he's going to pick for this. I also don't know if Chilwell will get a game here. Again, I would not be surprised to see Azpilicueta and Alonso playing as kind of wingers on the side. They have the experience. I think, have they both won a Champions League with this club?
Who?
Azpilicueta and Alonso.
Ooh, I don't know. It's going back a bit now, isn't it? That Champions League win.
Yeah.
2012.
Anyway, these guys are certifiable winners. They have helped be what has turned this club around from a top four club to a top four club. I hope you enjoyed that. And again, up front, I would not be surprised to see two strikers, and I would not be surprised to see Havertz and Werner. Those are the players I expect to see.
Wow, interesting call on Havertz. I think for sure Werner will play, just because he's not scoring goals, but the rest of his game's in pretty good nick. I think he might play Pulisic myself.
He may. It's a good call.
He seems to be more of his choice. So especially after the way he played against Real Madrid in that Champions League semi-final, first leg especially. But It's a couple of injury doubts for Chelsea. I mean, obviously we talked about Mendy, but they reckon he is going to play. They reckon that Kante is going to play. But Chelsea have been in not the best form. They're kind of, since they beat Real Madrid or got through to the final, they've been in really indifferent form in the league and just kind of stumbled and fell over the line for that 4th place. And they lost the FA Cup final. Do you think, like, I don't know, is it just kind of, I don't know how to put a finger on it, but because usually Tuchel's had this side playing very, very machine-like, but there seem to be a few errors creeping into this machine.
Yeah, I mean, I part of me wants to start looking at that, but the other part of me is like, City basically sleptwalked to the title for the final 5 games after they made the final. United are obviously in a cup final of some sort. I don't know. It doesn't feel like a real trophy, if I'm being honest, but they also sleptwalk into the end of the season. And I think all these teams realize just the importance of that Champions League final. I think it's weighed them down. For Chelsea, a lot of these players would be their first one. They're actually quite a young team, and they've achieved a lot, and they've had a really tumultuous year. In City, it would be their first ever Champions League final. Many of these players don't have a Champions League final to their name. Aguero hasn't played in one. De Bruyne, Mahrez, Foden, Ruben Diaz, Gündoğan, Raheem Sterling. Gündoğan has. Raheem Sterling hasn't. Jesus had, like, Ederson. None of them have played in a final before, and they're young as well. Ferran Torres is in there. João Cancelo, Zinchenko. Like, this is, for so many of these players, this is pretty much it. This is the highest point of their career. Most of them haven't won international honors either, because, you know, it's once every 2 to 4 years when you get the chance. So it's huge, and I expect this to be an incredibly cagey final game.
I was going to ask you about that. I was going to say, what do you think about it? Because it will just be Chelsea. You can't see them doing anything other than having just like a big wall in front of that goal, and Man City having like maybe up to like 75% possession. Not that Chelsea won't have their moments, but they'll be mainly on the counter attack. And City will just dominate it, and it'll be about if those front players of City can drag those centre backs out of position and create the space in behind, and then ultimately take their chances. And I would say on the flip side as well, Chelsea are a side that have been very wasteful in front of goal as well. I mean, they've had so many, even in those Champions League games against Real Madrid, they could have won that tie by more. It could have been more comfortable. They seem to be
Where is Olivier Giroud? Where is Olivier Giroud? Like, we've done this in a million videos, and I won't belay it, but like, Werner can't score a goal. Havertz is better as a striker, but isn't really prolific in any way. Tammy Abraham seems to be hated by Thomas Tuchel. Like, he doesn't even get in the team anymore. At which point, where are you getting your goal? Like, all your goal scorers are either off the pitch or misfiring. Like,
yeah, it's weird how, like, really Giroud and Aguero are kind of the 2 best strikers, but neither one of them might not even get on the pitch in this final. And but then you have to also turn to the 2 games that they have played against each other recently, where Chelsea have come out on top on both of them. One being a 1-0 win in the FA Cup, the other coming from behind to win 2-1. Obviously, City will say that they didn't play a full-strength side in either game, and they didn't have the Stones Diaz partnership in either one.
Did you pause there on purpose? They didn't have the Stones.
They didn't have the Stones. They didn't have the minerals. They didn't have John Stones or Diaz partnership in either game. But do you think that this is something that Tuchel's got over Pep, or do you think that was just a freak occurrence? Do you think those games are going to have any bearing on this one?
I think that last game, both of them were like, let's do something weird and play random teams and random lineups and slightly different tactics. Because like Mason Mount didn't even make it on for Thomas Tuchel, and it was a complete turnaround from first half to second half performance.
Maybe that's why they maybe dropping Mount's the answer.
I need you to get out now. So help me God, child. One more bad word against Mason Mount, and I will find you. No, I think I think City are going to dominate this game. I think they're going to win it. The last couple Champions League finals we've watched, you almost knew who the winner was beforehand. Like, you knew Liverpool were going to beat Spurs. You've known Real Madrid were going to win every final they've walked into for the last decade. Bayern Munich made the final, and it was like, yep, it's theirs. It's sewn up. Look at this team. Like, it's unreal. And I just think City are going to get there and go, oh yeah, this is what we do best. And they're going to have the ball for 75, 80% of the game. They're going to have 30 shots on goal, and they're going to win by 1, because that's what the City side do, because they don't play strikers.
So you're going for a Man City. Manchester United fan Thomas Pickering is going for a Manchester City win. Just throw that out there.
No. I told you it was going to happen. I did not give my prediction.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you had. But then you pretty much had. You pretty much just said, go on and give your prediction.
Never show weakness. 2-1 to Chelsea.
Oh my God. Is he going for... What was the point of all that comment? What was the point of that sentence where he talked about City are going to win and they're going to dominate?
I told you
and they're the best side in Manchester and they deserve all the accolades and Man United are nowhere near them. And why did you say all that stuff? Alex Ferguson was overrated.
I'm going to have to turn my mic off in a second because the tirade you're about to receive.
Ronaldo was a joke. I've also... Do you know what? This is so crazy because I was sure you were going to back City, and I was thinking, I don't know why. I've had a feeling now, ever since they knocked Atletico Madrid out, I've had a feeling that Chelsea are going to win this tournament. I just felt that they've gone under the radar. No one was talking about them. It's been pretty much a poor year, but I think it might have. And if they would have finished fifth, I'd have been even more convinced they're going to win at the weekend. But I think they're going. I think it's going to be penalties. I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw. I see Chelsea snatching something late in the game to take it to extra time. And I see Chelsea winning it on pens.
Wow. So both of us see an incredibly stressful final. I'm going to be honest. I could definitely see that. I could see them getting a bit of vindication, a bit of their soul back after 2008 final.
Something in me as well. You got to have a little bit of... You've got to have a little bit of pain and tragedy before you go and win it in a final. Like Liverpool and Bayern, they've got a lot of history. Chelsea, they've had their struggles, but they won it in 2012 after losing in the final 2008. So they've got their thing. And I think Man City need to have a bit of final pain before they go and win it maybe next year.
Also, just no. Just no, Man City. No. Shh. Go away. Go away. Is this going to work? Are they going to go away?
I just think what the owners and what they've done to Manchester, they've turned it into a much better city than it ever was.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we need to end this before a fight breaks out. Thank you to all of you for watching. Please, if you enjoy it, smash like, hit subscribe. Thank you so much for joining us for this entire Champions League journey. We will be back next season with the Champions League. Have no fear. If you've enjoyed this, please consider following us on Patreon. Thank you to Grandstand Betters, Robert Allen, PJ Simpson, and Matthew Bowden, and all our other Patreon subscribers. We love you all. We love all of you. We're so happy. Please, predictions down below, comments down below. Have we gotten everything right about your team this season? We've gotten everything wrong. If we got it wrong, tell me. I don't actually know a lot about football. If you can't tell from the accent, I don't know what I'm talking about. And on that note, Ian, please lead us out.
Yeah, well, just one final thing Tom didn't mention is the content will carry on over the summer. We'll also be doing content for the European Championships, and Tom will carry on live streaming Chicago Fire games. And but I think that's everything from Thomas and myself. Enjoy this final. Thanks for being with us, and we'll see you soon.